Hi, I'm Eric Johnson. I'm here today with Rob Louv. Rob is Managing Director and co-head of the technology area for Houlihan Lokey. And he's here visiting today, talking a little bit about investment banking. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Rob.
Happy to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to the community of the Vanderbilt Owen School. It's very personal for me as a graduate. But before I start, I do want to say hello to my 7-year-old daughter, Tinsley, and my wife, Tracy. So, hello.
Coming up on 20 years in the investment banking business, what's changed?
Like any industry, there's been changes. What I'd say about investment banking is probably more dynamic or as dynamic as any industry in the world. And me in particular, because I focus on technology, really software. If you think about the changes in software, that impacts directly in how my investment banking firm that I built it grows and moves over time. And so one of the things about software investment banking in particular is it's a wonderful market because there's always the creation of wealth, but there's also the destruction of wealth. So when we started to think about where we wanted to build an investment bank, or when I started thinking about my career, I always thought in terms of advisory, because I never really thought I'd sit at the bulge bracket for my entire career. I always wanted to try something different, a little more entrepreneurial. I always had that instinct, and part of that came from actually studying here at the Vanderbilt Owen School. And so as I developed that, I started looking for sectors where intellectual property advice was the key to success. And so you have to find an industry where the balance sheet doesn't drive all the business. You know, if you think about the large energy players or the large even telecom players, when they started to develop that industry, the JP Morgans, the Bank of Americas, the Goldman Sachs, the Morgan Stanleys, anyone with a large balance sheet had an inherent opportunity to take market share. Software balance sheet doesn't matter as much. It's more about the intelligence. It's more about the ability to position the company appropriately, have the access to the right investors or strategic partners, and then always perfect execution. No matter what the sector is, perfect execution is key. And then the other piece is I wanted to find an area where I really could advise emerging growth companies. I like, if you have to think about this way, I like creating things. I like being associated with growth. You can make a lot of money in restructuring. You can make a lot of money in mature industries just loaning money. But I really like the action of the emerging growth. So I put myself in a position where not only was the investment banking dynamic in its change, but also the industry I covered was dynamic in the change. And so what I think you've seen over time is when I first started at JP Morgan, literally the top 5 banks that did M&A advisory or even most investment banking products were the same. They were what people considered the bulge bracket, the JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Even to this day, when I think about my competitors back when I was at JP Morgan, those were the 3 main players. And then Merrill Lynch would always come up, and CSFB did a good job. But you could really think of it as 3 main players, taking over most of be that a debt product, be that an equity product, or an advisory product. Now what's happened is you've really seen the bulge bracket move away from being the leader in every category, and now you've got an opportunity for specialized advisory firms, the Lazards taking share, Houlihan Lokey in the emerging growth middle market area. But it's really spread out to where intellectual property is much more the driver of decisions than any kind of what I'll call balance sheet strength or pure equity research strength. It's gone back to who's got the best ideas, who has the best access, and who can execute perfectly. And that's really how it's changed. It's no longer just a brand. The brand is important, but it's really the team and the people. Are they the right people to execute? And part of that is you've got to absolutely maximize value for shareholders as an advisor, but also are you a good fit with that board? Are you a good fit with that CEO? That more and more is the deciding factor versus any one brand or any one balance sheet or any one equity research analyst making the decision for the client. It's really about those core competitive advantages. Can you execute perfectly? Do you have the deep domain knowledge to position us for synergy and scarcity value? And then finally, do you have the right access, be it to a strategic partner or to an investor? That's carrying the day, not the brand per se.
20 years in the investment banking industry, what kinds of leadership lessons have you learned along the way?
When I first came to Vanderbilt, and again, I'm an Owen graduate, I was really looking for not so much leadership knowledge as I was additional finance knowledge and a path to investment banking. But what I would say about the Owen experience, it was amazing from the standpoint of still remember 2 courses in particular. The one that influenced me the most as far as leadership goes was one that's called business ethics. I'm sure you guys still have a variance of it today.
Sure.
And it was wonderful because the teacher was an entrepreneur. He had built his own business, and it was just case studies. And it was case studies where you had to make very difficult decisions. And it really solidified a basic concept that I have about leadership, which is leadership is driven by principles. It's driven by a moral high ground that you keep throughout your life and how you treat people, be them your employees, your clients, whoever the stakeholders are in your life. And I really went back and I started to refine my true beliefs and my true principles. And I built it down to, kind of 5 or 6 core principles that whenever I have a difficult decision, because leadership really comes through when things are going very well, it's very easy, right, to lead, very simple to lead, right? If I was the coach for the Warriors right now, I don't know I need to do much leadership, right? If I was the coach for the Lakers, well, there's a lot of leadership going on by that coach right now, right? And so what I've done is I really stepped back, and thanks to that course, that professor, and the community here at Owen, I really stepped back and I started to refine what was important to me as far as my core beliefs and call it guideposts to do the right thing for the right reason consistently. It's a concept that Aristotle talks about, but I didn't really understand it until I came to Owen and started to see and understand how ethics and how judgment drive not just short-term outcomes, but long-term outcomes. And leadership's about setting that pace, being able to make tough decisions and making sure that people know that you care about them, but also they're part of something bigger than themselves.
Great.
Good question.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Rob.
Thanks, Eric.